So dark in here. Why is it so dark? Why is this?
Somebody turn on the lights.
Somebody turn on the lights over here. Hold on. Stand by, everybody. I'm just changing the light bulb.
Professional entertainer.
How many
here.
skeptics does it take to change a light bulb over here?
There we are.
There we
Oh, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Oh,
Hello.
What's happening? We have two people in the chat.
Yay.
There's a bunch of people.
Sorry,
they're
we're
filtering
late.
in. We're late.
We're 50 minutes late.
What were we doing?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
We recorded an AQ6 episode and we ended up talking like way too long.
Yeah.
Because
Get
we
these
can't
guys
shut
started.
up. Shutting
Get
up.
these guys started. While we're waiting for people to get in, have you guys seen The Burrows?
No.
I heard about it.
You should watch it.
Wait, is this really the Duffer Brothers? Is this
Yes.
really? Is it
The
really?
same as Stranger
Stranger
Things.
Things.
Same universe?
No, well, I don't think so, but I'm pretty
How-
sure not.
They came out with another series that fast.
That
I mean,
fast.
I'm sure they were working on it.
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah, I mean, they probably wrapped on Stranger Things quite a while ago.
I
But
think it's cute. It gets
So-
it's good because it gets right into what's going on.
okay,
away. There's
Well,
no
so
build up. It's just like, okay,
So
we're
worth-
right in it.
Monsters.
Basically,
I
yeah,
heard it's
no,
basically Stranger Things, but in an old folks' home.
Yes. It's,
Okay.
That
it's
sounds
pretty
great.
fun. It's pretty fun, actually.
Wow.
It's fun.
Shit, that's pretty.
Old people can be haunted by demons too,
I
or
know.
whatever. Upside down demons. All right.
Not
what
just
are we
cute
doing?
kids from the
Not
80s
just-
playing
yeah,
nostalgic
not just
music.
Nostalgia kids. No, not Kate Bush running up the hill. All right. What day is it? Sorry. We are getting ready also for a trip, which is why you see the title say what it is. We're going on tour, sort of, just this weekend.
The beginning of our summer
The
of
summer extravaganza.
incredible amount of shows.
Not extravaganza specifically. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, let me Google that for you, peptides. Oh, wait, those other ones, that one didn't save correctly. We'll talk about some other stuff. And the Madison, Wisconsin show. Still tickets available if you are so inclined to come to Madison. And that's it.
Skeptics
I'm very
Party.
preoccupied, Ian,
Oh, with what?
because I have work to do. I got work. I got a
You got work
job
over
to
here.
do.
I know we're not going to do a super long stream, but we're going to get into some fun stuff because we got to pack.
Yeah, it's actually got to be pretty short for me today.
Yeah, we gotta get packing. But let's jump into it. You guys have anything else to say about Madison before we move on?
Well, did you know that it's in
Did I?
Wisconsin?
Oh, is that where they make cheese?
Yeah, and there's a lot of water up there.
All
you know?
cheese comes
All
from Wisconsin.
cheese comes
And
from
it
Wisconsin.
borders Lake Michigan and Lake
Take that,
Superior.
France.
That's right. There's lots
Two
of
lakes.
water.
Two big
I thought
lakes.
those were oceans.
Well,
Wait, I didn't send that. I had another TikTok that a guy was like, nobody talks about the ocean in America. It's like, that's a lake. you
Those are the Great
fucking
Lakes.
idiot.
Although it does behave, Lake Superior, it does behave like
does
an
kind of behave
inland
like a
ocean
sea
in
or
a lot of
something.
ways.
How deep is that water?
It's
Deep.
deep, man.
It-
Not loch deep,
How
but
deep?
And there could be river
Deep.
sharks in there that are mess you up, man.
river sharks.
Land shark.
All right. Well, I have a few things to say.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So we just reviewed the Mandalorian
And
and
Grogu.
Grogu movie, and
Yeah.
we all liked it. It was good. It was a fun movie. It's not going to blow your hair back,
Don't give it
but
away.
but it was very good. It was fun. There's a lot of moments in there that I really appreciated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, worth seeing. Fun, a lot of
Worth seeing.
fun. Which sometimes the fun adjective is negative, because if that's all you could say is it was fun, it kind of implies that it really wasn't that great.
Looked like they were
but-
having a good time up there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
that's
that's
another
the-
one. That's
that's the
another one.
insult.
Oh man.
That's a
But
backhand.
we're absolutely worth seeing. But it's not, earth shaking. It's fairly inconsequential when you think about it, but still a lot of fun. And Grogu, man. I mean, that's
I
all I
know,
need.
he's
If
amazing.
Grogu in a movie, I'm going.
Grogu
it's just
is
the way
so
it is.
awesome. He's such a fun, strange character. Like, where did they pull
Love him,
that
man.
character from? I don't know.
Well,
That was one thing. I have another thing to talk about.
Yeah.
It's like Ian said, we're going to Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
We have 3 shows there.
True.
3 different events, actually. I shouldn't
Mhm.
say shows, because one of them is most definitely not a show. I'm very excited. We haven't been on the road in quite a while. What was our last?
Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
was what? How many months ago was that?
January, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Seems like a lot longer than that.
it does. Jeez.
You want to send me a coffee, or who? Who are you talking to?
Can I send you a coffee?
Somebody in the chat said, "Can I send you a coffee?"
Because Bob yawned. You need more caffeine, Bob.
Here's my coffee.
No, Bob. Oh, that was quick.
got
But
his
it's almost
coffee.
done.
Sent that
Thank
very
you.
fast.
Thank you. So that was
Bob,
fast,
Dunkin'
fast
Donuts
delivery.
or Starbucks?
Whatever.
Neither.
They're both fine. They both do the job.
Bob?
If I had them next to each other, I think I prefer the Dunkin' Donuts like food,
Yeah, I do
like
too.
the egg bites and if you want some good protein, good eggs. I mean, I prefer Dunkin' Donuts, but this has got an extra shot of toasted almond, which is good.
Mhm.
Oh.
So it's
From the
it
Minneapolis.
was fine,
We'll look into it.
and it wasn't. Sometimes I get a coffee from Dunkin' Donuts and it's like barely in the realm of warm.
Yeah.
Pisses
Oh,
me
Bob
off.
hates cold coffee.
No, I don't hate cold coffee. I hate any coffee that's not hot.
Right,
It's
you
gotta
want it
be
hot.
It's got to
Okay.
be within a range of hot.
You like it hot.
Yeah, skin melting hot.
Well,
There's-
no, that's a
Not
little bit
that
too
hot.
much.
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
hence the
clear.
lawsuit.
Warm has nothing to do with how I like it, and I get pissed off when it's like. That's why I don't order decaf coffee at a drive-up, because the decaf coffee generally is not used nearly as much as the regular coffee, so it sits there, it gets cooler. So whenever I order, most often when I order decaf, it's like this is barely warm. So I just like I don't order it anymore because that's what happens. All right, my little coffee rant.
I don't
is
order it
over.
because I don't like coffee.
Oh,
That's another good reason not
That's
to
a
order
hack.
it.
That's a life hack.
I don't drink coffee no more. Remember that? What's that from?
Should we talk about
No.
UFOs?
All right, we're loopy. Let's get into
I
yeah.
don't
What's
drink
the
tea no more. It
UFO
gives
stuff?
me a headache.
So
I drink coffee.
The
Remember
ball,
that?
the
Oh,
sphere,
yeah.
The sphere.
the globe.
Oh,
Go.
is it
The
Booja?
orb.
Booga? Booja?
Booja. Oh wait.
Yeah, we won't be going to Minneapolis soon because we're doing a show in that area.
Whoops.
You know what I mean?
We're hitting that region.
Yeah.
Mr. Mysterious Booga.
The Booga?
The Booga sphere.
I really hadn't even heard of this.
Yeah, honestly,
Until-
I only barely. So it's Mysterious Booga or Booja. I don't know how you pronounce that. Soft G, hard G, whatever.
What are we looking at?
Sphere found. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Found in Colombia sparks UFO speculation.
Is that a time lapse picture or what's happening here?
I don't know.
Is
That's
that
not
supposed
the
to be? Is that supposed to be the bottom of
Oh,
a
it says
spaceship?
UFO illustrative. So that's probably not
Oh,
an
wow.
actual
It's
That's
fake.
not it.
photo.
But
So-
it's fake, you know.
So the biggest thing about this Booja Booga sphere is that it's an artifact that they have.
Yeah.
They have it. They found it. It's small, but that's the big thing.
It's an aluminum sphere, yeah, about this big.
Okay, so what's the deal? Who cares?
So, because people have videos of it flying.
meaning that they threw it into the air?
No.
No,
it's
it was doing
flying around.
maneuvers.
Yeah.
Let's see it. This is a video. Let's see the
I
video.
don't have the video. I didn't send you that video, right?
You did.
I did? Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. Which one is it? Oh, aliens. Aha.
Yes, the one just said.
Oh, right. I
Just says
forgot
aliens.
it wasn't Fujifilm. Oh,
Right.
yeah. Here it is. Sorry. So
Come
this is,
on.
oh, right. Well, this is with Greer.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah,
Huh?
Greer.
I blocked his name out of my head.
Oh man, that's not a horrible
He's
move
nutty.
at all.
Okay,
Alright,
so
here we
here's
go.
the floating. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. Here we go.
It is an extraterrestrial object. We've done the analysis on it. It is electrogravitic anti-gravity. It is not a hoax. There are now 10 different videos from 10 different spheres flying in this region in South America. It has interesting inscriptions which have been analyzed to be a type of Proto-Sanskrit, a very unusual type of circuit pattern
stop right there.
on the top of
Yeah.
it.
So first of all, it's 100% a hoax, right? I mean,
Yeah. Just,
no question.
And the guy speaking knows it's a hoax?
who knows? He's an
Well,
idiot.
who
That's
knows? He's a
Greer.
true believer, I believe.
That's a good quote. Who knows? He's an idiot.
But seriously,
He does.
he's in that zone where like he could be lying, he could just be a
Yeah.
complete moron. It could be some combination of both. I mean, the stuff that he's saying is all pure nonsense.
Even Proto-Sanskrit. I mean,
Proto. What does that mean? It means it looks like something.
Before
You know, it
Sanskrit.
means
Whoops.
nothing.
I read some comments by a linguist, and he's like, the standard word is not proto. It wouldn't be Proto-Sanskrit. It would be more like Proto-Indo-European,
Yeah,
not
he's just making
Sanskrit.
shit up.
He's
So-
just like
Let's see
making
the
up
picture
shit.
again.
And then the other side, it's
one?
like
Oh, yeah, hold
it's a classic circuit kind of emoji or whatever.
Yeah, that looks like a
icon.
circuit board.
Looks
to
like
me.
a circuit. I mean, it's not even
If even.
imaginative.
Yeah.
But then there's the language around it. You can't really, you can see a hint of it in the upper left of that
The thing
left
is,
picture.
you could just draw random
resin
lines and
that
squiggles
has
or whatever,
fiber
and some
optic-
asshole will tell you, "Oh, this is proto whatever." You
But wait,
know?
but hold on a second. Hold on. I mean, there's like an elephant in the room here.
Yeah.
They have a device
I'm writing.
that has a anti-gravity machine in it.
Yes.
No.
The government didn't claim this thing and say,
This is
No.
yeah.
It was found in like Mexico, and they've done MRIs and CAT scans and all sorts of.
And there's
of-
nothing.
And
There's
there's
nothing.
and
No,
the-
Steve, the premise, though, is they have a machine
Yes.
that has
Made
been
in Taiwan.
videoed displaying anti-gravity-like behavior. They have it.
yes.
Yes.
So open it. What's
Right.
going on? Like, I mean, if it has futuristic technology, we actually have the object.
Because
That's
there's nothing inside. So,
If you catch it while you're in the game, you win.
Ha, nice.
Thank you.
Yep.
all right. So, what do you think is going? What do you think is really going
I
on?
think it's a hoax.
So this was made
But how's it flying around?
There's a little
oh,
drone
well,
inside.
those videos. I mean, they're just totally faked in one way or
No.
the other.
There's a
Or
no, I bet
helicopter
you it could.
above
I bet you it's a drone. Like,
It is not a drone. It is dangling from a drone. That's
Dangling
it.
from a
Let's see
drone.
the
Yeah.
video
This thing
again.
is
That's in that-
dangling from a drone.
Yeah, because it does kind of move.
Let's see the
parabolic.
video
well,
again.
let's see the video again in that context.
Yeah. Whoa.
So,
Yeah.
You can't really. So it definitely moves at the speed and a way that a drone could move, right? So it's not defying drone physics here. But
Okay.
also, if you examine the video more closely, you could see a couple of things. One is you could see the fucking fishing line that it's dangling from.
Oh, that's it right,
Right.
there.
The other thing is that, so you see how it has kind of like the equatorial kind of mark on it, right? So when it's moving to the left, it tilts left. When it's moving to the
Oh,
right,
like a string was
it
attached.
tilts to the right. And if it's moving faster to the left, it tilts more to the
More.
left. Just exactly as if it was dangling from
that's
a
a good
long
catch.
fishing line.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you could see it kind of wobbling sometimes. That is a positive marker for dangling from a string.
Yeah.
Right? That is not accidental.
No, they built it
Right.
that way, Steve.
But maybe
Yeah.
that's how anti-gravitic
Well, yeah, that's what they always say.
devices
That's how-
work.
This goes back to the 70s.
Oh
and,
yeah,
and the Swiss
what is
farmer,
that one? Oh yeah.
where he had the UFO doing this. Like, well, that's how anti-gravity works. That's also how things dangle from a string. So let's go with the simpler
All right.
explanation.
So what else
here.
does this idiot say?
It's 12,560
Yeah,
years
so-
old. How does he get that number?
So they took something out of the middle of it because there's these little holes in it. It's 12,000 years old. So first of all, they
Like a resin. They described it as a resin.
Why would
A
they say
resin-
12,560?
because that's they did carbon dating on it.
But why that exact?
I guess that's the date. that
Would,
they
would it
came
come
with.
up with something that accurate?
Well, with error bars, but you get a
probably just
number.
pick
So
Okay.
here's the thing. So either that's total, it's all total nonsense, but it depends on, there's different reports, right? When you look at the report, where they actually carbon date. They're not carbon dating the metal.
Yeah, some weird resin that they don't even show.
Well, they're using the word resin very loosely here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's some gooey stuff in the middle, but they were
says Elmer's.
carbon dating was foraminifera, right, which are basically little microscopic
You
organisms.
just
Yeah.
made that word up.
So
No, I've heard the word before, so he's
if
not
you
making it up.
basically if you put sand in the middle of that thing
Yeah,
and you dated the sand.
Sand.
That sand could
Pretty
be
old.
12,000 years old. It
Okay.
had 12,000-year-old stuff in it, right?
Yes.
So that doesn't mean the thing was made 12,000 years
They'd
ago.
have to
They
take
didn't
a
date
chunk
the
of the
metal.
metal
They
off.
didn't date the metal.
for whatever. Yeah.
Right.
So these guys are morons.
Yeah.
Well,
But the
yeah,
way this
but
Greer
obfuscating
guy goes
intentionally.
off, his extrapolations of
It's fantasy.
0 point energy, teleportation, reduce it. He actually says with a straight face that it uses a mechanism to reduce its mass. Yeah, that's a thing, reducing the mass of an object.
It's
just
great.
making
but
shit up. He's
It's
just making
amazing
shit
we
up.
have the object, Bob, because now we will figure out all those technologies.
He says there's no seams. There's no seams, even though there are ways to create shells
Yeah.
that have like microscopic seams that are very, very hard to see. That is possible
And
with
there's
modern
machine
technology.
marks on it.
Yeah, I'm sure if you look closely, really
yes.
closely, you could see machine marks and other telltale
It's been
giveaways.
definitively debunked as a hoax. But that, of course, that doesn't slow this guy down at all.
No. You just blow right past that one.
All right, so we don't like this guy. Is that what we
He's very popular in the U.S. government too. He seems
Really?
to have had some sway
Really?
and some stuff.
How gullible, man! Buying, wholeheartedly buying this interpretation that would be the most amazing find ever in human history, the most amazing thing, and he's just like at a straight face. He buys it. He didn't scratch beneath the surface even.
And of course, he's
picometer.
doing the pseudoscientific thing. He's not trying to disprove his hypothesis.
Right.
He's just trying to prove it correct.
He's trying to.
And he takes any strand of evidence as positive for what he wants.
He's not
to
even
believe.
trying to prove it correct. He assumes it's
Yeah.
correct,
Yeah,
and
he's
then,
trying to
he
convince people.
extrapolates what
Yeah.
that must mean. It's really pathetic science.
Yeah, that you zoom out. I like to zoom out on things like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what they claim, and I don't know who has it. I guess somebody has the thing. So what's going to happen next? There's a few different things that I can project into the future here. One, absolutely nothing. You'll never hear of this again.
Nothing definitive.
He'll-
although no,
he'll-
it'll be. I believe
It
it'll
gets
be
added
referenced.
to the canon
Yep,
of the
it's added,
UFO
it'll
mythology.
Be referenced, it'll be
Okay,
referenced
people can
for years.
reference it, fine, but but they're not going to go take it further and go, okay, now we're going to open it. Okay, now we're having these people examine it. Blah blah blah. Like it's going to just immediately become
Right.
lore, but nothing's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Right.
That's exactly what happens to 100% of these claims,
Yeah.
even if they have physical objects or whatever. But if it was real, if it were real,
In a world where this were real, it would end up in the hands of the government
scientists,
and
real
scientists in a
scientists.
laboratory somewhere, and they would do transparent
Oh my
investigations
God, it would
that were
be-
not, if you squint and hints and things, it would be definitive.
It would.
And it would be in the public, it would be unequivocal.
so
It,
we
would
would.
consume scientific discussion.
Yes.
Consume
Yeah,
it.
and
it
then
would
for how-
become
for
its
months.
own specialty of science.
Oh my
but
God.
but on top of that, and the thing that would be like in our faces for a very long time is like we have confirmed we have an alien technology.
Yes.
Like this is that's why like they're at some conference. Or
This
whatever.
asshole wouldn't be the guy breaking it to the world.
Right.
No.
And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about Greer. I read about an interview where somebody said, well, show us the evidence. And he's like, oh, I don't just carry around terabytes of data in my pocket.
Yeah.
Well, you certainly
could.
can. I mean, we got thumb drives.
I have a thumb
Yeah.
drive. I have a thumb drive right now
It's
that
ri-
is 2 terabytes.
It's so ridiculous that he threw that comment out of carrying,
Yeah.
terabytes.
What do you think? I carry around thumb drives on me?
What do you think? I'm actually going to bring evidence to one of these
I mean,
conferences?
wouldn't you absolutely say, here is the best evidence? I mean, look at this. Incontrovertible evidence. If he had it, he would be showing it instead of just talking about it.
So Bob, that coffee thing I said, Steve Blackwell remembered it. It is from I think it's Bugs Bunny.
I want a whole
I want a
lot
whole
of lumps.
lot of
Yeah.
lumps. Remember that?
Yep, a
Okay,
whole
thank
lot
you.
of lumps.
All right, so we've called
Thanks,
this guy.
Stevie.
We've
All
called
the
this guy
words.
stupid, a moron,
Idiot,
and
idiot.
he's an idiot and an asshole.
I didn't hear that one, but all right.
Well, yeah.
And I can't call Trump
Implied.
supporters stupid. I'm
Yes.
just setting it.
Correct.
Okay, that's good.
Correct.
It's fine. I'm not.
Glad
I'm
you
not.
know the
I'm-
rules.
right?
Understand.
No, I want to be. I want to keep it real.
you're-
You have the line.
So pseudoscientists, we can go to town on.
The town.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
The
people who
purveyors and
perpetrate.
spreaders, super spreaders,
Super
of
spreaders,
nonsense and
they
bullshit.
get
Super
all the
spreaders.
smoke.
Yeah.
I like super spreaders
They
of
get all the
nonsense.
smoke.
That's like the Justice League kind of time. Super spreaders of nonsense.
Spreaders. All right.
It's amazing how a few super spreaders really drive
Oh, hell
a lot
yeah,
of the shit
man.
we're seeing.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, Ian.
Yeah, and the
No,
thing
it's
is, like,
fine.
this is just like a fake news thing where they eat it up, and then they forget about it. Like, if I believed in UFOs, I'd be like, holy shit! And then what's gonna happen
Yes.
next? Like, there's no follow up. It's just like this, and then a month
The
later,
thing
something
is,
else.
I was that way. Like when we were 10, 12, 13. Like we believed all this shit.
And
Yeah.
he's still 13.
And then there was that phase where, and you think, and like as most new UFO enthusiasts too, that the good shit's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Because this sort of in the margins stuff is not infinitely sustainable, right?
Yes.
Like if the government actually has alien bodies and UFOs and and there's encounters or whatever, it's building towards something.
Right.
And then nothing happens, or you get just more of the same. Then there was that phase where I still believed in it, but I'm like, that nagging in the back of your head, like, but why isn't there anything good? Like, why is everything always right at the limit
Fuzzy
of,
bullshit, yep.
of detectability and everything?
Blop
And
squatch.
then eventually you're like, this is all bullshit, is the easiest answer to all of this. And you know what I mean? Like we commented about like the Pentagon's latest disclosure. Like if I were a UFO believer still at that point, and then there's this massive data dump from the Pentagon about all the hidden UFO knowledge we have, and that was the crap that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How massively disappointing.
But
would
then
that be?
something remarkable happens, Steve,
Remarkable.
and it doesn't happen to everyone.
Yeah.
But we grew up.
Yeah.
We grew up and out of that shit because we became more intellectual as we learned more about the world. And then at some point, it was impossible to believe in this nonsense. And now we have a panel of adults sitting there, all like drooling over this bullshit.
But that's why this is very generational, right? And the UFO belief tends to wax and wane because
Yeah.
you hook a new generation on it, and then nothing fucking happens.
Then they listen to our show and
After,
they're like, oh, shit.
But even without it, after 10, 15, 20 years, it's just like,
They're-
it's
Show me
hard
the-
to get
show me the
excited.
beef.
It's
Yeah.
hard to get excited over every blurry dot moving into whatever, and so they
Show
just
me
sort of
the beef.
lose interest, and then it fades away, and then a new generation that hasn't
Gets
seen it
hooked.
before, they get hooked. Like, oh, look at this new stuff, and
My kids are now like somehow Bigfoot has come into
Yeah.
the schools. Like they're talking. My kids were talking to me about it.
Wow.
And I'm like, so they asked me, because they run things by me like this, and I'm like, all right, like if it were real, I'm not saying that Bigfoot doesn't exist. What I'm saying is we haven't seen any proof that Bigfoot exists.
But if it did,
Yeah, so I told her, I
What
said,
would
so
we
if it
need?
existed, let's just ask a few things. So what's it doing out in the woods, right? I'm just giving her like the logic of it. What's it doing? She's like, well, they're going to look for food. And, I'm like, do you think they grow their own food? Or like, how people do you think these Bigfoot are? Are they more like
are they big feet?
Yeah,
Are
are they
big
more like
foots?
monkeys and gorillas, or are they more people, or are they in between?
is there agriculture?
So so my 10-year-old was like, well, yeah, they might be doing something like that. And I said, okay, so if they were, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
We'd be able to see it. If you
From
were
space.
if you were growing enough food, you'd have to have cleared land.
How many of them are there?
So then I said to her,
Sustaining a commute, right? You
I-
would need.
At least 2,000.
I dissuade her of that. Then I said, all right, so we know that they're not growing food. And if they are, it's going to be a very small amount under tree cover or whatever that would be undetectable. But like, let's face it, people are all over this planet. Like,
They're probably hunter-gatherers.
So then I said,
Right.
We waste 30% of our food, right? Where do you think
Yeah.
it's going,
yeah,
Jay?
that's right. So then I told her, to fast forward.
Rats.
I said,
Rats.
if they're living, then they're going to die, and if they die, there's going to be evidence. There's going to be bones. There's going to be, if there's a population there, if they're out there and they're not living that far enough away from people where people are seeing them, then we're going to find evidence, physical evidence
Right.
that they're there. Like you can go out and find a mountain lion skull out in the mountains, wherever they live, you could find the remnants of these creatures. That isn't happening. Then she showed me a picture of the Bigfoot thing, the
The
footprint.
classic one or the footprint?
Or the one
where
that I
they-
made?
Yeah, they
The one
poured-
that I made?
I told her, I said, Olivia, that's great. That's cool, but it doesn't mean anything. Why? Because Bob and I and Uncle Steve made one in my backyard, in our backyard.
I made
right
that
here.
by myself.
Yeah,
Punk.
but we did make one. Did we make it at my house or at your house?
I made one at my house. That's my memory.
So anyway, I told her that, and she's like, "You did? How'd you do it?" And I'm like, "Well, we took a piece of wood and we poked out the outline of a foot and went down about an inch or so, and then we filled it with plaster, pulled it out, looked just like their Bigfoot."
I got to
thing.
show her a picture of it. I have a picture somewhere.
So then I said, and if
we sold it at
if that
a,
plaster
auction.
impression was going to be, if it had any prowess whatsoever, if it had any like legitimacy, there would be DNA on it. There'd be hairs in it, some trace of the animal itself. So I go through the whole thing, and then she actually said, "But you can't prove it doesn't exist," And I'm like, "Well, yeah, you're
Well,
right.
you
I
can't
can't
prove a
definitively
negative."
tell you." I said, "But you can't prove right now that there's an invisible, weightless snake around my neck. It's the same thing. Like if we don't see evidence, if it's not measurable, if it isn't something that we can
Yeah.
observe, it for all purposes, it doesn't exist." And she got it.
It's equivalent. At least.
Nice.
She
yeah,
got
nice.
it.
Good.
She got it.
Well
It took
done.
a while though, and again,
Yeah,
it's
you
another
went
one of
through the
those things.
process.
Oh yeah, she's 10. I mean, yeah, it's.
But she probably heard about it and was enraptured by it very quickly at school by someone or a teacher. Maybe her science teacher taught her about Bigfoot. I didn't
Oh.
find out.
But did you tell people have been looking for Bigfoot for 60 years?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's a new thing. Like in the 60s, after the Gimli film, you could say, oh, whatever, there's deep parts of the Northwest that people haven't penetrated.
Right.
But now, people have been actively looking for this thing for 60 years.
One
you know?
corpse or one pile of crap with DNA that you could see the genome. Like, holy crap! Look at this.
Yeah.
This is not known at all.
And now we can look for environmental DNA. If there was a large
Yes, you're right.
primate that's not a large non-human primate anywhere in whatever North America,
It'd be
we could
detectable.
scoop up the DNA. It's just nonsense.
I don't think we're bringing mugs to SciCon. There'll be other swag, but we usually don't fly.
Yeah, they
With
Those are for
breakables.
drivable events only.
it's
Yeah, it's hard to
breakable,
pack
unfortunately.
mugs.
That is one of my favorite swag items that I've made, though. That black mug with the SGU logo. I have two of them in my kitchen.
That's
I
one of my
love 'em.
favorite coffee mugs right there. The black one.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's cool. It's very nice. Good,
Yeah, it was
good
good.
shape.
Yeah, the thing is, what stinks? It's like you can't. There aren't good print-on-demand facilities.
Yeah.
Like there
I
aren't.
keep
great
looking
ones
for
out
a
there.
good water bottle, like a good SGU branded water bottle, but those are hard to find as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd have to make a custom. If anybody knows, always hit us up. Or if
No,
anybody
the-
has somebody who makes them.
The only way to do it, Steve, is you go to like
Legit.
a Yeti or
Yeah.
those-
Oh yeah.
and they do some customizations. You could just buy a one-off. You're not going to get like a good.
Boona, boona.
I'm talking about a
Oh,
branded.
forget it. We'd have to get the real thing. I mean, I'm not gonna. I
Yeah.
just can't. I can't sell crappy swag. I can't do it. I have to. I wear and use all of our swag. So it's J
You
tested.
could do it if you tried.
Jay tested, Jay approved.
No, but I mean, like the coins as an example. Like I love them because they're heavy. When you pick it up, you're like, I've got something. You know what I mean? That's one of the reasons
Get
why
some
the
heft.
coins are so cool. You can get
They're
little
beautiful.
ones, but the
They're
bigger, the 2-inch
Yeah, the
ones are just
big ones,
awesome.
yeah, they've got some heft. They're great for just flipping.
All right, go on.
All right, let's move on to this one. So the truth about sunglasses.
Oh,
Are you
oh,
Oh
ready?
my
no,
God,
oh
the
boy.
sky! What
You
the?
ready? Get ready. Maybe don't get ready. Why is it? Oh, stupid mute.
Cancer. So it has
Cancer.
everything to
Oh, my
do
God.
with
I hate Instagram.
cancer. You are filtering out certain rays of the sun, which is supposed to enter. You're blocking them out. And the pineal gland, which
Oh,
receives
boy.
the light in a different color formation, that means the entire spectrum of light. It is necessary for the body to have that light. The basic metabolic processes. Also, you have to allow UV light to come in. When you do that, you are producing a hormone in the brain that is responsible for the melanin production in your skin. So that's where your skin protection occurs. If you are not producing that, your skin becomes susceptible to even sunlight. Let's say you wear sunshades, your body thinks it's dark outside. It doesn't make that hormone that is responsible for producing the melanin to protect your skin. If the light is needed, every cell communicates with every other cell through light. Our cells require sunlight to grow and reproduce themselves so that you have a new body constantly created over and over
God,
again.
dude, just
When they-
immediately retire yourself from humanity. What the
Ah,
hell
God,
was
his name
that?
is Professor Ian. Ah,
Oh man!
That was
Professor of
video.
what?
These two people just.
that
doing
was
nothing.
like a
Painful.
really good pseudoscientific babble
laser
fest
ray.
right there, man. Wow.
Good idea.
The pineal gland isn't getting the full spectrum of light, and therefore somehow that blocks your body from.
You're
So
calcifying.
It's
the
an
thing
endocrine
is-
gland. It's like melatonin. I mean, what's that to do
here
with
we go.
light?
What?
Melatonin is released by light.
Is it? No,
Yeah.
melanin or
Not
melatonin.
yeah,
Melon-
no. Not melatonin. So,
Yeah.
what am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Melatonin is
Melatonin.
a supplement that
Melatonin
you can
is the
take, but
sleep
your brain
chemical, right?
releases.
Your brain
mel-
releases melanin. Melanin versus
Melanin.
melatonin.
Yes.
Right.
Good
job,
Melanin is released in the skin. Melatonin is released in your brain. So the thing is, there's a kernel of truth deep down in what
Of
he is
course.
saying.
That's how they
But
get
you always see these people make these extreme one-sided arguments for something when it's a trade-off, right? There are trade-offs. So you hear this with the skin thing too, like, you shouldn't be using sunblocker because your skin needs sunlight to make vitamin D, and it will help. It will make it release the melanin to protect the skin. That's true. So
But you don't need to take in an intense amount of sunlight.
right, that doesn't mean like. So you should have a balance. You should get some sun, but not too much sun. And if you're in intense sunlight, you're going to be on the beach in the middle of the day, you absolutely should wear sunscreen. But you do need to get some sunlight, right, to release
Yeah.
vitamin D and to
Right.
have your skin release melanin.
And sunscreen's not 100%. Some stuff's still getting through. Even if
Yes.
you put the good stuff on thick, it's
Yes,
still
you're still
not
getting some.
perfect.
So it's the same thing with sunglasses and your eyes. Is that we do have a circadian rhythm, and the circadian rhythm is synced by light, and it is not a good thing to basically go the entire day with the same light level.
Yeah.
Basically being if you're indoors all day.
What if you're in a studio like us though, with this amount of light on us?
This is like if we were here all day, that's not a good thing. That you should try to get some actual sunlight in the morning, and have the lights low in the evening.
Sure.
But here's the thing: the UV from the sun is bad for your eyes, and
Yes.
it increases your risk for cataracts.
It's bad for your skin too.
And then the skin around your eyes is actually very sensitive to the sunlight. And so wearing sunglasses is protective. So there's a balance between these two things. And if you read, just like the Mayo Clinic or whatever, just authoritative medical references, they reflect all of this, and their recommendations are, you should get some unfiltered sunlight in the early morning. Like when you get up, it's a good idea. Like in the morning when you get up, go outside, get some sunlight.
How long? 10 minutes?
Oh, whatever. Probably more than that. It kind of depends on what your altitude is and how fair you are. And all
But
that kind
I've
of
never
stuff, what
done
the
that
weather-
in well over half a century. I mean, how worse off am I?
I'm just saying, if this is right. This is just optimal recommendations. But then absolutely wear sunglasses in the middle of the day when the sun's high in the sky,
Right.
and you're going to get the most exposure. And then you should have lights low in the evening.
Low lights in the evening.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yes,
Totally
and
agree.
that helps your sleep cycle. That helps your circadian rhythm.
That's why
it also, there's good evidence that keeping kids indoors all day causes short-sightedness.
Yes.
And
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it's good to have kids outside for a couple hours in the morning or whatever. There was an epidemic of short-sightedness in Japan. That's why.
Oh.
This is why
Wow.
we have a cultural stereotype of Japanese people with these small round glasses, because they were all wearing them, and that was just the style, you know what I mean? Because they just had like incredible rates of short-sightedness because kids were in class all day and they never got outside, and it was bad.
Yeah. And being on a bright screen at night, your phone or
Yes.
iPad or whatever in bed, like you're just not.
So
it's
vary
not
your
good.
light during the day, right? Get some sunlight during the day. Get some, dark at nighttime. You can, if it's early in the day or it's cloud cover, you don't have to wear the sunglasses. But definitely in bright light, you want to wear sunglasses to protect your eyes from the UV light. And same thing with your skin. Yes, you need some amount of sunlight exposure to get vitamin D, but you want to wear some sunscreen, especially if you're going to be on the beach or in bright light or it's whatever.
yeah, man.
Or if you're traveling to a lower, closer to the
Right,
equator.
so everything that Steve just said, translated through me, that guy's an asshole.
Yeah, that guy is giving an extreme one-sided version, bordering on just mysticism and pseudoscience. Whereas it's like everything's either all good or all bad, and it's all a conspiracy, whatever bullshit. Where it's like everything. It's as a good first approximation. Most things biologically are trade-offs, right? And if you think that way, then you're much more likely to be thinking in a more complete, nuanced way, right? And everything is kind of a balance between two extremes. Like that's always a good first way to think about things. Not this is all good, that's all bad. This is a superfood, that's a poison. That's all bullshit.
Right.
You know, it's just everything in moderation, everything in balance is a good sort of first approach to things.
So
like
here's the audio of the thing that I was saying before. Listen to
What's
this.
the point?
Coffee! How many lumps do you want?
Remember that?
Oh my God.
You guys remember that?
man.
That's
That-
Pete Puma.
that
Thank you, Blackie.
shriek.
All right,
Oh,
so don't
man.
believe what this guy's saying.
He
This
does
guy,
have
not this
Professor
guy.
Ian.
This guy.
Not this guy. This guy. This guy.
Don't believe what I'm saying either. Look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
look it
Seriously,
up.
in 5 minutes, you
Hey,
can go
do
to
your
some
research.
authoritative sites and get
I'm the little
a
fella's
good
mother.
summary of the information.
Oh, God, I gotta watch that again. I'm the little fellers, but oh my God, how do we have all these old cartoons memorized,
Because we
Steve?
watched them a million
Oh,
times.
but still, that's a very, very old memory. All this.
Yeah,
stuff.
but you tend
brain.
to form memories more, they're more deep when they're young.
I guess you're right. I mean, you're right. We did watch the same ones over and over.
Yeah, I mean,
and over
I don't
again.
have nearly the tolerance. I don't like to watch something twice now.
Yeah.
You know, but when we were kids, we would watch the same thing 100 times, and it was like every time. You're like,
Loved
you
it.
know, you
Yeah.
would love it. Yeah,
All right, let's
totally different level.
watch this video about how people Google. So this is the
Yeah,
let me
this was
Google
good,
this for
actually.
you. Yeah, this is an interesting
How to
thing.
Google?
How to Google.
Yeah, I
This
like
is
it.
how I
Over
Google.
like
I
this
go to
Niagara friend
ChatGPT.
of mine.
Yeah, so he's talking specifically about like a right winger friend of his.
Okay.
But it could
When
apply.
I
But it
found
could-
out
yeah.
how he looks up information, we were arguing about the lyrics of a song. It was No Problem by Chance the Rapper. The line is, I'm so high, me and God dapping, like throwing dap. He swore up and down, I'm so high, me and God dabbing, like dabbing, which clearly not. So I Googled No Problem, Chance the Rapper lyrics, and I went down to where the part was, screenshotted it, sent it to him. He clearly Googled, I'm so high, me and God dabbing, what he already thought, so that he could find someone else who was wrong, who had posted that on the internet, and screenshotted that and sent it to me. It's this like confirmation bias that they look for. They don't just Google what's the answer to this question. They Google the answer that they're looking for,
Yeah.
so they can find 50 other wrong idiots and be like, see, this is what everybody's saying. This is the information that I thought was correct. It is correct. No, you're just Googling what you already think and finding other wrong people, which is why like flat earth and all this stuff exists, because if you think a certain thing, you can find 1,000 other wrong people who are already saying that stuff. That's just how MAGA stays in their little echo chambers right there. They don't care about what the truth to the question is. They care about, this is what I think is right. I'm looking for a screenshot where somebody else says that I'm right. So I'm just going to Google what I think and I'll find it. It's really frustrating. I knew
Yeah,
it.
and
Yeah,
this
that was
guy,
solid. That was good.
this guy sounds, he seems like the kind of person who would go, he looked it up, and let's say he was wrong. He'd go, oh, I was actually
was wrong.
wrong. Okay.
So I
Yeah.
don't know about you guys, like when I'm prepping a news item or doing a deep dive on a question or whatever, prepping for our TikToks or whatever it is, I always Google the same question multiple different ways, right? Partly just to see what different responses I get, but also because I'm trying to trigger like the full range of answers.
Right.
And he's absolutely correct. How you ask, like how you prompt Google or whatever, how you whatever you put into the search engine
Or
has
AI.
a dramatic effect on the results that you get. Like you can get diametrically opposed responses
Yeah.
depending on what you're searching for. And so it's very easy, especially if you have I'm looking for evidence that I'm right, you can absolutely find it.
And I apply that all the time to ChatGPT. Even today, I was like,
Yeah.
we talked about hyperspace today for AQ6. So I did research, but then I talked with ChatGPT to see if I can get some other nuances. And when I ask the question, I do not say, is this why hyperspace is bullshit, and give my ideas?
Yeah.
I say, what does science say about the plausibility of hyperspace?
Yeah.
And see and that's a response I start with. And of course, I dig down deeper and I verify it. But that's how you should interact with ChatGPT.
Yeah, so it's good I usually start with something as neutral as possible to see what comes up. But again, the truth is not the only thing that determines what gets to the top of the search list,
Totally.
right?
Absolutely.
Or the quality of the information. So depending, like when I was researching the sphere, the UFO sphere. So first I just look up the name, just
Booga, yeah.
sphere, just what comes up. It's all gullible shit. The first 20 hits are going to be gullible. It's like, okay, like, but at least I find out what they're saying, what the information is.
Yeah.
But then you have to say, Boogosphere evidence, or then you go even more. I go Boogosphere skeptical or debunk, or what does Mick West have to say about, like, if I know specifically, there's
nice.
which he did a lot of the work on there. And so then you can get some specific information. But I'll also say, like, what are the true beliefs, what are the proponents saying about this, or how do they answer that, or whatever. You could just keep asking different questions from different angles to get different bits of information.
Most people aren't going to do that.
I know.
That's the problem.
You're absolutely right.
It's too much work
to do
That's
that,
why we do
Like,
it for them.
Yeah, people want instant gratification. I mean, it's really frustrating because the correct information is out there, but it's not going to get.
Oh wait, we got to name that logical fallacy.
Oh.
The guy says, my partner suggests Bigfoot is an interdimensional creature. So I don't know if that's real or not, but that is something that believers say.
Yeah.
I've heard that Bigfoot is psychic.
Psychic Bigfoot.
Psychic Bigfoot, or he can become invisible at will.
Yeah.
Or that he could travel interdimensionally.
That would explain a lot.
So
wouldn't it?
that's all the same logical fallacy. And what is it?
Oh,
Is that the idiot fallacy?
yeah, I think it is.
No,
But wait.
it's called. It's motivated reasoning.
Yeah, it's all more. That's kind of an umbrella.
Yeah,
kind
but
of process.
I know the fallacy name. It's called.
It's a non sequitur.
They're all non sequiturs. Yeah, I know. It's like an argument from ignorance, right? So
Yeah.
it's the argument from the. This is
yeah.
why we don't have information, but you still don't have information. Carl Sagan did this in Cosmos. You remember when Carl Sagan was talking about Venus, and for a time, there were even scientists who were saying maybe there's life on Venus. So, well, how did they get to that conclusion? It's like, well, if you point your telescope at Venus, all you see are clouds.
Oh.
And he said, you can't see a thing. Why can't I see a thing? Because there's clouds. Why are there clouds? Well, maybe because there's a warm atmosphere. Maybe there's a lot of water vapor in the atmosphere. It's like, okay, well, there's a warm atmosphere and there's water vapor. Maybe there's living things. And if there's living things, maybe there are dinosaurs, whatever. And he's like, so the initial observation was, I can't see a thing. And the conclusion was there are dinosaurs on Venus. But the only thing you can conclude from I can't see a thing is that you can't see a fucking thing, right? So the only thing you can conclude from we're not seeing, there's no evidence for Bigfoot, is that there's no evidence for Bigfoot. You can't say, well, there's no evidence because he's invisible, he can go interdimensionally, he can read your mind to avoid you, whatever. Right? That doesn't mean that those things are wrong, but you can't conclude them based upon the fact that we have no evidence alone.
Right.
Exactly.
Occam's razor, man.
You would have to say, all right, so if he were able to turn invisible, how could we test that? And then show positive evidence.
You'd need a Bigfoot to test any of these things.
Whatever. You would need some way to tell the difference between a non-existing Bigfoot.
Yeah, like a movie of him
and invisible
disappearing,
Bigfoot. Yeah.
showing it.
It's like this comes up in medicine all the time. So, like, for example, if I test out a drug or whatever, some treatment for some disease, and it doesn't work, it's very common for the people who believe that it works to say one of a few things.
Yep.
One is you didn't try it in high enough dose. You didn't try it for long enough, or you didn't try it in the right subgroup, right? Like maybe it works in a subgroup, but just diluted out over the general population didn't work. Or maybe we didn't do 6 months instead of 3 months, or maybe we didn't do a high enough dose. It's like, okay, any one or all, it's also called special pleading, right? Any one or all of those things can be true, but
It fell.
yeah, okay, but you can't use that to conclude that it works.
Right.
Right, you have to then test that hypothesis.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Ian, can you scroll down on the chat?
Oh, did it stop? Yeah, hold on. Sorry.
Blind people can't tell.
Yeah, so that
Remote. Hold on. Ellen, stand by.
I mean, if Bigfoot can turn invisible and
There we go.
enter and exit other dimensions and stuff,
Yeah.
then why would we see it at all?
right.
Yeah.
Why would there be blurry photos of it?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
Bigfoot is blurry.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we got next, Ian?
Okay, let me see what this neuroscience one was. I forget what this was exactly.
Something
but-
massive just happened in
Does it-
neuroscience that
I don't know,
should
I don't
not be
wanna show
possible.
that one.
All right, this one
Only
might be
because
stupid.
this is a tease for the part that you have to pay for,
Oh,
and I
right.
don't, you know,
That's right.
because it never actually. It's all I'm going to show you something amazing, blah blah blah, and then it ends.
Yeah. All right,
And
let's get to the
fucking-
more fun. Injectable peptides. You just wrote about this on
Yeah.
SBM.
Have you guys heard about
The new
injectable
snake.
peptides?
No.
Yeah, it's like the new thing.
It's the new snake oil.
Snake
Um,
oil by Lillard.
So this is apparently very popular, apparently among billionaires. You know
Yes.
that this is how
Brian
they're going to live
Johnson?
forever, right?
Oh yeah.
And-
What's it supposed to do?
There's a whole cottage industry now with the wellness industry, the wellness
Sure, of course.
influencers selling these peptides. And the question, what I was mainly writing about was the regulation of them.
Well, what is a peptide? Go start there.
So a peptide is a string of amino acids. It's not a protein because a protein has to be folded up into a three-dimensional shape. That's a protein. But it unfolded is just a string of peptides. It's a peptide or
Protein
a
is
polypeptide
delicious.
How does it stay unfolded?
because they're small. They're usually small.
And
strings.
what would it do to you?
So,
So they're proto-proteins.
yeah, or they could be, but they, you know, the thing is they
Proto-Sanskrit.
could be proteins, but they're being marketed as peptides, right?
Okay.
They're shorter chains, it's saying.
Now the first, like they're shorter chains. What was the first actual peptide? But in this case, all proteins are peptides, but not all peptides are proteins. That's what I think of it. What was the first peptide to be marketed?
Pepto-Bismol.
To be marketed.
As an injectable, insulin,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And yeah, it's then there's been peptide drugs for the last 100 years,
Yeah.
you know, and the latest, greatest, ones are the GLP-1 drugs, right? Those are all peptides. These are
Okay.
subcutaneous injections because if you eat it, you'll digest it, right?
Right.
And it's just food, right? But it's not. It won't be a drug, so you have to inject it usually subcutaneously. So now there's a cottage industry of peptides that are being marketed as supplements, basically, not through any FDA oversight.
And they don't really work.
Well, we don't know. There's no science behind them, right?
I mean, some
So-
peptides do shit apparently, right?
They
Oh,
can.
insulin.
I mean, they absolutely can. So it's not like it's magic or chi or whatever. It's actual drug, right? So
Right.
you're injecting a peptide drug into people, and you're making claims for it without any.
That sounds risky as shit, man.
Of course it is. I mean, so there's the layer of these have not been clinically tested, and then
Right.
there's the layer of you're trusting people in the gray market who are trying to get around the FDA.
Yeah, man. Go to the black
in terms
market.
of purity and
Yeah.
and quality control and that stuff. So there's two layers of risk here.
I'm sure there's another layer somewhere.
So how are they regulated? They're regulated based upon whether or not compounding pharmacies can make and sell them, right? And so there's a list of things that compounding pharmacies are able to compound drugs from, right? It's like a bulk whatever list. And there's different categories. So the category one is, yep, they submitted all of the information we need to the FDA, and the FDA says this is good, you can use this. Category two is, we don't think this is safe, and so you shouldn't use it. And category three is they haven't given us enough information, right?
Okay.
So 20 popular, peptides were under the Biden administration were put onto category two, meaning you cannot compound them because there's just no evidence that they're safe, right?
Okay.
And now the RFK is taking them off the list because he's a true believer in peptides, right?
Of course he is. Of course.
Yeah.
he's
So now
doing
we're
this.
in the process of now putting them back into category one so that they can be used freely. And of course, the wellness industry, it's just like any other snake oil. They're using the structure function claim loophole, where they're saying this will support your skin health and your
all
blah and your
bullshit.
aging and all this stuff. It's all bullshit.
And they're charging a lot for it.
Of
obviously.
course, yeah, of course. Especially anything with an injection, you get to charge premium for that. So that's where we are, right?
Wow, man.
Yeah, because RFK's a fucking jackass. We can call RFK names.
Oh, he's an
in
asshole?
charge.
He's a super spreader.
Is he
asshole.
stupid?
Yeah,
Sure.
He's a moron?
totally.
Good.
Yeah. Not a scientist. He is the Greer. As Greer is to UFOs, he is
Yeah.
to health, right?
Yes,
like he believes
absolutely.
anything is
Far worse than
always
Greer,
trying to
though.
prove himself right. Net thinks he understands science when he doesn't. Completely convinced by anecdotal evidence. Just a complete
Okay,
moron.
TikTok thinks we're harassing RFK. He just gave me a restriction.
What? What happens? Tell me what happens.
You can't call them idiots.
How
No,
but
I
tell
don't
me
know.
what you get a message that
Yeah, it
says, hey,
says
stop
live
that?
restricted for some audience. Your live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and has been restricted.
We can't make anybody feel
Reason,
uncomfortable
harassment,
even for
and
a
bullying.
moment.
But wait, but we're bullying who? Don't I have to be bullying a person like that can? That's bullying.
I don't know. I think they're a protected class, idiots, or RFK specifically.
Wow.
Maybe.
So
I
this
don't know.
so this had to be like AI that just flagged us.
Oh yeah, it's just it transcribes what you say, and that's why like on TikTok people use like
Like grape?
filler words or
All right, so we need
long
our
words.
go-to euphemism for unskeptical asshole moron.
Yes.
Well, wait. Why can't we just? All right. So you'd rather do that than like give RFK a nickname?
We could do both.
We could call him a UAM,
A UAM.
unskeptical asshole moron.
Yeah, we could.
UAP,
That doesn't flow.
UAM,
Mook.
Mook.
I like Mook.
I mean, troglodyte.
Well,
That's
Mook,
always,
I like Mook a lot too.
Mook
Will
is
Mook
good.
not get us?
Let's
flagged?
test it out. RFK is a mook.
He's
I
a
don't
totally
know.
a super Mook.
Let us know what happens.
Is it
yeah.
strong enough for him? I would argue it's not strong enough.
How about,
But it's
how about
what-
Jadrul?
It means
Nobody will know
whatever
what
we
that
wish it
means.
to mean.
I know what that word.
But it's
means.
got a
know what it
meaning.
means.
It's got a meaning already, and it's kind of like is it?
What is the operational definition of Mook? I like Jamoke better
Jamoke
than
is
Mook.
fun.
But
Jamoke.
Jamoke has a meaning. It does have
Mook
a
is
specific
a
meaning.
foolish, insignificant, or contemptible person.
That's not bad.
Low-level, easily disposable henchman in video games.
Okay. Is Mook racist?
It's not strong enough. It's not
You're
strong
thinking
enough
a different
word.
one, and don't say it. Don't say it. No, it's not.
It's not.
Don't say it.
We could say unskeptical Mook.
Yeah.
He's an unskeptical
I
Mook.
mean, Jamoke is fun because that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's it's all too friendly to
It's
me.
all too friendly. I like Jadrul personally, but
Jamoke isn't sinister enough.
troglodyte
Jamoke
means
is a-
cave dweller. I know. It's kind of mean to cave dwellers. Jabroni.
I like jabroni.
Yeah, that's a 70s, right?
Yeah.
Against Italians? No, you're thinking other words. Well, unless you're talking about Jadrul, it just means cucumber technically, but it's like
Yeah.
it's funny. Whatever.
All
All right,
right,
well,
we'll have to-
keep send us in your ideas of
Yeah.
Yeah. I like this idea. We
of
should.
offensive.
Maybe something
not too-
archaic.
Yeah, very
Yes.
1700
Ooh.
style.
Yeah.
Or brainworm host. That's a little too on the
Like
nose.
um,
Head. What's an old school?
what was the one you like from Severance, Bob?
The term?
Yeah. The insulting term that the father used like from Severance.
Oh, I vaguely remember
man.
that. Somebody said, "Ask Andrea."
Fetid something.
Oh my God. Fetid spawn. Oh man.
Here's one: an afternoon farmer.
What's the word?
No, afternoon farmer is the phrase. It's like a farmer who rises late and is behind in his chores. Hence, anyone who loses his opportunities. That's not really
It's not hard enough.
that's not hard enough. Chicken-hearted, chucklehead. I mean, chucklefuck is more fun.
Yeah, I like
Jay
chocolate.
Jay
Chucklefuck
Jay
is more
uses
fun.
that.
Death's head upon a mopstick. A poor, miserable, emaciated fellow. Okay, that doesn't really work. Dunderhead. No?
None of them like punch. You know.
Too playful.
Too playful. Yeah, fop, fribble, fuss budget. That's just like somebody who's
Cockwomble.
a
Fetid
gasser.
moppet. Fetid moppet.
Fetid moppet.
Fetid moppet.
That sounds pretty good.
Grumpletonian. that doesn't really work. Milksop. A
Meathead.
A meathead.
Meathead is very specific. How about a beer on your head?
Meathead.
Meathead.
A ninny hammer. It's a simpleton.
nothing
I
there
don't
yet.
know. None of these. Scallywag is very. Scoundrel. Chavaroon.
All right, let's see if scoundrel. Well-
Skinflint.
Skinflint.
That's kind of gross. It's got a little.
All right, here's a word for that's foolish and mean or obnoxious.
Okay.
Fustilarian. Doesn't
Fustilarian.
flow as
Doesn't
well
roll
as I
off
would
the
have liked.
He's quite the Fustilarian.
Yeah. Ignoramus is kind of fun, but that's.
Jobbernowl, Rampalion, Fopdoodle.
That's it. Someone just said
I
Fopdoodle.
just said that.
Fopdoodle.
Idiot sandwich. Yeah, that's like.
What's
Gordon
Fopdoodle?
Ramsay.
completely foolish, annoying, insignificant person.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't sum this guy up like
It's
that.
too-
You need at least 5
he's
words.
more sinister than that. He's more.
Well, we can add an adjective with it, like a
Fop doodle fuck.
Is it a sinister fop duel?
Yeah,
Fop duel?
sinister.
fop doodle fuckhead.
A geck.
You might need the.
Geck
your
is good. I
mom.
like that it's like one syllable, you know? He's a geck.
A geck.
Now, what do we want geck to mean? Does geck mean anything?
How about
Sounds
a geck
like
doodle?
Onomatopoeia. It's like geck. Like,
No, but it's good 'cause it's got the K at the end, and
Yeah.
yeah.
pejoratives need a nice K at
Nice,
the
a
end.
nice little. Shit. Or. Fuck.
Or a K in it somewhere.
I like that sinister, simple villain.
Yeah. Want wit.
What was that? Want wit?
Ding dong. Want wit.
I like that because they
There's
like
an
they want
alliteration
to
thing.
have wits. Yeah.
Yeah, he wants wit, but he is not.
We don't have much more time, guys. I have a lot
All
of
right,
work.
sorry.
Or
yeah,
we
let's
could
go.
we
Okay.
could turn RFK into
Yes.
an initialism that means something very negative.
Really?
Oh, yes.
He's such an RFK. that
Really?
guy.
What? Oh, yeah. So, I see what you're saying.
All right, let's do that. RFK.
Are you gonna, initialize it? Really ridiculous.
Really fucking kooky.
Really fucking kooky.
That's not bad.
We're thinking on it.
Yeah, it's fun, though.
All right, keep thinking, chat. All right, you send it in if you come
All
up
right.
with anything.
We'll
All
have a
right, let's move on
contest.
to some of the other things.
We want
we
a good
have.
name for
Yep.
a unskeptical moron and a good initialism for RFK to stand.
Yes,
to
both
mean
of
that.
those things.
For K, we could try knave, Knave,
Knave, yeah.
which is deceitful, unprincipled, shallow scoundrel.
You
Yeah.
knave.
I like
Like
Geck.
Nave.
Geck is a good one. It's
Geck.
got the alliteration, you know.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I got 2 TikToks to do.
Yeah, should we do the TikToks? Do you want to do that all together, or should we just do it by yourself? Or
Thank you, Sir Nubbin.
because Jay,
Appreciate
do
that.
you have to stick around so we can pack, right? Or what are we doing?
Yeah, I got a pack for the.
All right.
for
The TikToks don't take long.
Yeah, we'll just do it real quick. So you want to do it by yourself?
What do you guys want to sit down on the TikToks?
No, go ahead. All right, we're out. So we'll see any of you who will be in Madison. I know Sharon was out there. We'll see you guys this weekend. If not, have a wonderful week, a wonderful weekend. Try to stay positive. Come up with a bad way to refer to people like RFK or RFK himself.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next week, right? We'll be here next
Yeah, what
week.
Jay said.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right, so we're just gonna do these
make sure
TikToks
that
real quick because we gotta get ready for our trip. So sorry for it being kind of a short one.
Yeah. You're gonna use that
Geck is a Fallout term? Oh, it is. Oh.
Today's Wednesday. So,
Frackin' Geck. We could just mix a bunch of worlds together.
so we got. All right, so I'll see you guys like Friday morning, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Or bright and early, Friday morning.
I'll have these books packed, Steve,
Yes.
and I'll just have my checked luggage and a backpack.
You got it.
to carry
It's
on.
dinner time. All right, have fun. Have a good dinner. Bye, Bob. See ya. So are we starting a
coming back
cult
down?
and thinking up names for anyone not
Yeah.
in the cult? Yes.
This fucking guy. over here.
Non-believers. We call them non-believers. Stop this. Blah 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 blah. Do you have a intro? Oh, okay, hold on. Do you have like a little intro thing you want to do
Yeah.
for this? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, stand by.
Let me know when I'm ready.
everybody. And let me make sure the record actually works.
So can farmers save their seeds to plant again in future seasons? There seems to be a lot of confusion about this, and that confusion isn't random. It's actually generated as deliberate anti-GMO propaganda. This guy demonstrates it quite well. Listen to what he says, but I'll warn you ahead of time, everything he says is wrong.
States for 98% of farmers to replant the seeds from the crops that they grew in the previous year. How illegal? Well, I'm glad you asked. If a farmer gets caught even one time replanting their seeds, they are banned from buying seeds ever again. There have been over 500 court cases about this, and farmers lose 100% of the time. And every one of those times, it causes a multi-generational farmland to go completely bankrupt. No seeds, no farming. Stick with me for a second because it gets worse. Let's say a farmer bought seeds, did all of their planting, and realized they had over 10,000 seeds left. You would think that a farmer with tight margins would just be able to hold those seeds for next year and then plant them in next year's harvest. However, you would be wrong because that is also a crime. It is a breach of contract with the seed companies. You're only allowed to plant this year's seeds this year, not next year or even 10 years from now. In the US, 100% of seeds are genetically modified seeds. All of those seeds have patents, and when a farmer buys them, they're not buying the seed, but they're buying the right to use them. It is illegal.
All right, so as I said, don't believe anything this guy says, but quickly, let me give you a very quick history of the regulation of seeds in the United States, right? So prior to 1974, most new seed varieties, new plant varieties for agriculture, for crops, were developed in the public sector, which was fine. And farmers could use the seeds any way they want, right? You could save the seeds to plant the next year. You could sell them to another farmer. You could use them as the beginning or as part of making your own new varieties, or you sell them to be used as grain, right? You could, because for many crops, the seed and the food are the same thing, right? So the corn could be sold to be eaten by cattle, or you could use it to plant more corn, or you can use it for more research, or you could use it to plant, right? This was fine, but they didn't create any incentive for private industry to invest any money in R&D because there was really no way they could make any money back on it. So in 1974, Congress passed the Plant Variety Protection Act, and this said basically that if you are a seed manufacturer, a seed seller, right? You produce seeds to sell to farmers to plant, then you can restrict them from selling the seeds to other farmers. But the exceptions were made to this so that a farmer could, in fact, save seeds from their own crop to plant the following season. They just couldn't sell them to other farmers, right? Because if you could sell it to other farmers, then basically you could steal the intellectual property of a company and then start producing it yourself. It's like, imagine if a company sells you an item that gives you the ability to mass produce that item and sell it yourself. I mean, that's not a good business model. There's also an exception for you can also use the seed to develop other cultivars, right? So those two main uses were still protected, but you couldn't sell the seeds. You also couldn't expand your use of it. So if you planted 100 acres with the seed that you bought, you could save seeds to plant those 100 acres, but you couldn't use it to plant 200 acres or more, right? You'd have to stick to the original amount of seed that you purchased. So that was a good balance between farmers can use the seeds the way they need to, but companies that develop new varieties of seeds would have some way of protecting their intellectual property. And so that was the standard for many, many years, for 30, 40 years. And most seeds in this time were hybrid seeds. Now, hybrid seeds are interesting because a hybrid, as you know, like you take two plants, you cross them together, and you do that until you get the best properties of both, right? So hybrid seeds were better in many ways. They were more resistant, higher yield, etc. And so for a while, hybrid plants were 90+% of the plants that farmers were growing. But here's the thing: you cannot replant seeds from hybrid plants, because the hybrid traits do not breed through the next generation, right? It exists for only that one generation. You're going to get a different mix of traits for any following generation. So you couldn't save seeds anyway just by the fact that they were hybrids, regardless of what the regulations were. And so most farmers, first of all, they don't really want to save seeds because it's a lot of work. You're better off just buying new seeds each season. And if the hybrid seeds are superior, you're going to definitely want those. And so most farmers were buying hybrid seeds. You can't replant them anyway. They could do some limited replanting if they wanted to, but there really wasn't much of a reason with the hybrids. But then, of course, GMOs came onto the market starting in the late 90s, early aughts. And then a new rule came into effect when the Supreme Court ruled that, first of all, you can patent biotechnology, and specifically you can patent unique traits in a cultivar, right, in a GMO. It has to be unique. You can't just say, I own this plant now and it's mine. You have to have created something new, which is the usual standard for a patent. And with patents, they were more restrictive than the Plant Variety Protection Act. There, you could prevent the farmer from replanting seeds from their own crop. So that was one layer more. Or you also couldn't use them to create your own variety, because basically that would be stealing the intellectual property of the seed manufacturer. So it didn't really change much, to be honest with you, because most plants that were commercial crops were hybrids anyway. And as I said, you can't replant hybrid seeds. And so most farmers weren't saving seeds anyway. You would do that if you had, like, if you're a local farm and you are using heirloom varieties that you're developing over time. Sure, those are your seeds. You can plant them. They're in the public domain or whatever. But big commercial seeds, nobody was replanting them anyway, so it didn't really change much. But essentially, it just meant that the laws were designed to prevent people from stealing GMO traits that were developed by a company, because that's their intellectual property, right? The other thing is that many GMO cultivars are hybrids themselves. And so, again, you can't replant them anyway because they're hybrids. So then he said 100% or near 98 or whatever percent of plants fall under that rule. That's not true, actually. About 45% of, as of this taping, about 45% of plants are hybrids or heirloom or whatever. They're not GMO. Only about 55% are GMO. So the most restrictive rules are only for about 55% of plants. The rest are under the Plant Variety Protection Act, which means you can replant them if you want to. The bit about if you buy more seeds than you need, you can't keep them over the next season, that's not true. I could not find that anywhere. I think he's just misinterpreting it. You can't save seeds, meaning save seeds from a crop that you grew in order to plant the next year. But that doesn't mean that if you purchase the seeds already and you own them, you can plant them whenever you want to. So that's not correct. So again, it's misstating what's the actual fact and trying to make it into this big conspiracy or make it seem like farmers are unhappy with this. If farmers were unhappy with it, they wouldn't buy the seeds in the first place. They're buying them because they are better. And again, this is long predates GMOs. Most seeds, like 90+%, were hybrids anyway, which you can't replant. It's still the case. And so this is really a non-issue, but it is used to stoke this anti-GMO conspiracy mongering. But it is all nonsense when you know the actual truth of what's going on.
All right, cool. Cool. All right, let me just save this. GMO seeds. Boom. GMO seeds. Okay. All right, here we go. Next one is this. Boom. All right, stand by. Let me just. Whoops.
Biological tests for any.
Hold on. All right, here we go. You gonna start with something first?
Yes.
Okay.
All
right, hold on. 3, 2.
Unfortunately, there's a long history of what I call mental illness denial, not only in the U.S., but in other parts of the world as well. A lot of it comes from Scientology. A lot of it comes from this one guy called Thomas Saz, who created a lot of the ideas around why psychiatry is evil, etc. And again, I'm not saying that there are no problems with any profession. Every profession has its issues, and there are a lot of challenges to psychiatry and psychotherapy and psychology and counseling and all that stuff, just like any other health profession. But some people take it to the degree of trying to deny the very existence of mental illness, and that is science denial. And with that as context, that's where this video is coming from. Listen to what they say.
There are no biological tests for any mental illnesses that I'm aware of.
There are not current available tests to verify your diagnosis.
There is no test, there is no specific test to differentiate between, let's say, schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. Not a single test.
Yeah, we have no
not really confirmatory test for the diagnosis.
There is no test, there's no biopsy you can do that says this person is depressed, this person is bipolar.
We don't have anything.
So first of all, 20 years ago is like forever ago. But let's just stipulate that what they're saying is still generally true. There aren't any biological or medical tests for most things that we would characterize as a mental illness. That's one of those things that's true but irrelevant to misleading. Like the argument is often explicitly made but is usually implied that therefore these diagnoses aren't real, that they're made up, or it's all opinion or whatever. It just misunderstands the nature of mental illness and neuroscience and how the brain works and how we understand disorders of the brain, right? So not all disorders of how the human brain works is like at the cellular biological level, the kind of thing that there would be a test for where there's demonstrable pathology. And that's because the brain, you could think of it as, the brain has multiple levels of functioning. Yes, one level is at the cellular level where the cells could be healthy or the cells could be diseased or pathological. And there certainly are diseases of brain cells, if you will. We typically think of those as though neurological rather than psychiatric. But the brain's function does not only depend on the health of neurons and astrocytes and other cells that make up the brain. It depends on how they are organized, how they are networked together, right? The networks, the circuits in the brain, and also the biochemistry of the brain, like for example, the neurotransmitters and how they're functioning. So you could have disorders of brain function that has nothing to do with the health of brain cells, with perfectly healthy brain cells, just because of the brain is wired, if you will, or how the brain is functioning neurochemically. And that generally is the area of mental illness and psychiatry, right? So if someone is depressed, for example, that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to do an MRI of their brain or do a blood test or do a genetic test, whatever. There's no test you can do to show that they're depressed. But that doesn't mean that we can never in any way consider depression to be a disorder or a mental illness. And often many things in psychology, psychiatry too, there is a sort of a normal, healthy, typical amount of some phenomenon that we see. So everybody gets depressed, and a certain amount of depression is adaptive, right? When bad things happen, you can get depressed. A loved one dies. That's a reactive depression. That is part of the typical range and expression of depression that most people experience. And we don't consider that, nobody considers that a mental illness. That's just life, right? That's just being a human being. But what if you have a profound depression that is disabling and does not seem to be in response to anything? It seems to be a thing unto itself. At some point, you could say, all right, that seems to be a disorder of brain function, right? It's a disorder of brain function not related to, again, anything biological that you could test for. It's just it manifests in your thoughts, moods, and behavior, things that we can detect clinically, but we can't do a blood test for, right? So does that mean that mental illness isn't real or that it's all opinion or all fake? No, not at all. It just means we're dealing with a function of an organ that cannot be captured with blood tests or anatomical imaging or anything like that. We have to look at the function of that organ based upon the way it functions, how people think, how they feel, and their mood, etc. And is that tricky? Yeah, of course. It's fuzzy around the edges. It requires a lot of judgment and careful thought, and we do have to make arbitrary cutoffs, etc. That's all true. It's also true of a lot of things that are not mental illness or not psychiatric diseases. For example, migraine headaches. What's a migraine headache? Can I do a blood test to see if you have migraines? No. There's no imaging test, no blood test, no EEG, no objective biological test I can do to say that somebody is having migraines or not having migraines. The diagnosis is based entirely on what the patient tells us. Some types of migraines may have some physical findings during an attack, but not all of them. You can have migraines with no physical manifestations at all. It's purely symptom-based, but nobody would argue that they're not real or they don't exist or it's not a real diagnosis because that's the case. It's the same thing with psychiatric illnesses. It's a brain function disorder that we diagnose clinically. Now, this doesn't mean that at a research level that we cannot look at the brain and say, oh yeah, people who have schizophrenic brains or who have extreme anxiety or whatever, that their brains are not functioning and behaving differently than people who don't have these clinical syndromes or these clinical symptoms. And this is where this video is 20 years old does come into play, because there's a lot of research looking with more modern tools, functional MRI scan, for example, where we can say, oh yeah, on average, people with these, psychiatric conditions, there's differences in how their brains function. And we're starting to piece together what we call the neuroanatomical correlates. Like why are the brains of people with major depression or severe anxiety or bipolar disorder or schizophrenia, how are they different than people who don't have these conditions or don't have these symptoms? But the other issue here is that the human brain is extremely complicated and extremely variable. So, which again is true of all of medicine, is true biologically, but it's especially true with the brain, right? And so when we develop these kinds of tests of ways of looking at the brain function, it doesn't really give you an ironclad diagnostic test. It's more of a research test where we could ask questions like, what kinds of things are happening in some people who present with schizophrenia that might tell us about what's going on. But, schizophrenia is a clinical diagnosis, and therefore there might be different things going on functionally, biologically, neurologically, and therefore when you do develop a test to look for a schizophrenic brain, not everyone's going to have the same thing, because people that we call schizophrenic have different things. There's different subtypes, and some people might have something else entirely that just happens to look clinically similar. So that's what we're dealing with. It's very complicated, but it doesn't mean that you can't come up with an objective, clinically based diagnosis that is meaningful, that is a genuine disorder, and that doesn't deserve treatment. And that's kind of what these mental illness deniers are saying, that it doesn't exist, it shouldn't be treated, these people are all just normal and going about their lives. That's patently not true. It's absurd when you really look at it closely, and that is really, it's a cult of mental illness denial that we need to recognize it for what it is and call it out, because it's very, very dangerous to deny an entire subcategory of health. And it's hard enough getting proper treatment for people with mental health. It's even harder if you deny that they even have an issue to be dealt with.
Alrighty then.
Okay.
All right. So I think
we are
that's
done.
it. We have our show this weekend.
Yep.
So get tickets. They're still available. I know some people were asking about the upgrade. What do you want to tell them about the upgrade ticket?
Yeah, so we don't sell the extravaganza or the extravaganza VIP tickets, so we have no control over those. Those are the venue. But we are selling directly from us 2 tickets, the Saturday private show and the Friday night intimate get together with the Rogues. And so we created a combo ticket because we thought, if you're getting both, you should definitely get a break. So if you've already bought one or the other, you can upgrade. So that's all on the website. You can get one, you can get the other, you can get both, or you can upgrade if you've already bought one and you want to go to both.
All right, so I think that's it. So
That is it.
hopefully we will see you in Madison, Wisconsin, if you guys are coming. Otherwise, we'll see you the next Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah, we'll be here next Wednesday.
We'll be here next Wednesday.
Right.
New episode for PR, Political Reality, comes out today. AQ6 episodes are coming out probably Monday is a new one.
Yeah, I think they come out on Monday.
And that's it.
All right.
Smash that like button and subscribe. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Ian. Bye.